Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Last week I introduced to you, well, the fact that I do in fact have stitches here, and there is very much a story as to how that occurred. Today, you'll get that story. As promised, you'll get it. It's right here. Giving to you now. Okay, we're good. Yo, look at that. Do little dance, do little do. Get back to the story now. So the way in which I got this was actually relatively simple. The truth of the matter is that you may not know this, but I ice skate. A lot. And when this occurred was another ice skating accident. You see, I was working on a very complicated move in ice skating. In fact, you may have heard of it. It's called the faceplant. Yes, and I executed it perfectly. I mean perfectly. Total 9 out of 10. Because that's as perfect as I get. Yeah. Okay, so here's what actually happened. It did in fact occur during ice skating, and it was in fact a faceplant. But I wasn't trying for it. My friends had asked me to come ice skating with them, and cordially, I agreed. So I arrived there with my friends. I'm all ready to have a good time. I got my knee brace on. I am prepared. Oh, right. I should explain. Earlier, I said that I ice skate a lot. I lied. I don't ice skate a lot. Nearly ever. In fact, in the last several years, I've gone ice skating exactly twice. The first of those two was actually just a couple months ago back in February. My friend had invited me over to kind of play like a wingman for him, I guess, for a social event. And we went ice skating. While we were there, however, I was trying to do one of those skid moves where you stop with the heels and it, you know, the ice goes whoo all around you like a whirlwind. And it's all cool and people clap, applaud you. Yes, great job. I unfortunately did not have that thing happened to me. No one applauded at all. No one. Because what happened was instead of stopping, my front foot actually clipped the ice and I went forward with my momentum. Instead, spam, twisted my knee, landed on my knee first on the ice. I had to be carried off of the ice. I had to be driven home by my friends. They had to fill out an accident report. I went for x-rays the next day. They didn't find anything, but still, regardless of that, I was unable to walk for 2 weeks. 2 weeks after that, I still had a limp, and 2 weeks after that, I still had some pain that faded away slowly. I don't know what happened, but it was not fun. It was not good. That's why I had the knee brace, because this time, nothing bad was gonna happen. No. So, back to that more recent event. We're back in ice skating, and I am prepared. I've got my knee brace on. I'm like, I'm not going faster than anything. I'm not gonna try any fancy moves. I'm just gonna go in a circle, and I'm not going to race anyone. No spin moves, no special stops. Slow, careful, and you know what? I might, I'm just done. Careful. Easy, breezy, cover squirrel. Because I'm squirrely. I guess. I should also note that last time that I went ice skating, I actually had this incident occur to me 10 minutes before closing. So it was like, I'd already been skating an hour and a half and I'd been trying a bunch of cool things, then bam, 10 minutes ago, whatever. So this time I was very careful. And as we came to the last 15 minutes of the event, I was like, all right, so far, I've been here like an hour. Everything's grand. Everything's dandy. Everything is dandelion. Rawr. Because flowers do that. Rawr. However, because I was trying so hard to be careful, I was trying so hard to not do anything, I was getting bored. So I decided I was going to make things interesting, and I pulled a Thomas Sanders. I started narrating people's lives as I was going around. So the first time I passed a girl, and as I'm going past her, I say, there she was, the most beautiful girl in all the world. She was not only great in mind, but great in spirit. Then she smiled and laughed and said, great job. So I kept going. I was feeling confident, like, yeah, that went well. And I passed by a couple. And this time I said, and in the history of young couples, never before had there been a couple more perfect for one another, more pure in love, so pure in fact that their love would surely outshine that of Romeo and Juliet. And as I was going, I was getting there, just a couple more minutes left. I was like, I gotta do it one more time. So I noticed there were these two kids passing a hockey puck back and forth in the center of the rink. So I decided, I prepared what I was going to say. I came up to him, I spun around him, and as I passed through the center aisle where they were passing the puck, I said, it was fate that these two fine young men were destined to be the greatest skaters in all of hockey. I think I was going to say something after that to continue the narration, but at that point, I had come to a near complete stop. But before my momentum completely ceased, my right ankle gave out. I slipped and fell, but it's okay, I braced myself. Still, after such a wonderful narration, that's a terrible way to end it. So I tried to roll over and save it, sit up, and I just said, well, that's how that ends. And instead of a laugh or a chuckle, I was met by two young men with their eyes like this. And the one guy looked at me and just said this, you got a little... At which point, I looked down to notice that my hand was starting to fill up with the blood it was catching from my chin. Yes, when I fell, I didn't just brace myself with my hands, I braced myself with my chin. Excellent plan, beautiful. The crazy part was I didn't even feel it. I looked down and I was like, oh crap. So I had gloves on and I just held them to my chin and walked off the ice, and my friends all came out and was like, no, Nick, what happened? And I was like, don't worry about this, guys. I've kind of been through this before. So I went up to the employee and said, excuse me, sir, I'm going to need to, have an accident report filled out. Thanks, I'll be right back. I went to the bathroom and I cleaned up, and it was this nasty, nasty bruise. I mean, I just thought maybe it was a scratch. It was bleeding. But what apparently had happened, at least after consulting my mother, who is in fact of the nursing thing in the medical field, we believe that what happened when I fell is that my chin met the ice, the jawbone inside pinched my skin between the ice and itself, breaking it, and the momentum moving forward tore it back. I had a friend that described it like this. He said it was a small triangle beneath my chin, about, let's say, I don't know, that big? That looks about right. And in the center was a big black dot, probably where the blood was so thick it was starting to coagulate, I'm guessing. That's a word, coagulate? Coagulate? Come together? Have you seen the Triforce, the three triangles from Legend of Zelda? Yeah, it kind of looked like the centerpiece. Empty? Empty, an empty triangle? Yeah. But it was then that it became evident to me that I was going to have to go to the hospital. I was going to have to do something to get stitches. Because it was bad. It was so bad. I called my mom and said, hello? Yeah, Mom, just so you know, I'm out with my friends. We went ice skating. Again. And, yeah, I'm gonna have to go to the hospital. So just want to let you know, everything's fine. I'm on my way to get my face fixed up. She recommended that I go to urgent care, which is a story all in itself. So if you want to hear the end of this story, please let me down in the comments below. Like it, that'll be a good sign that, yeah, we want to hear the end of this. But for time restraints, I'm going to end it right here. Thank you for listening. I will see you all another time. Woo!
So, the day of the show comes. Well, audition. See, he called it a show. He thought that was his big break.
Because we know Nicholas, and that just makes sense for Nicholas to just go run wild with the caribou.
Yeah, exactly.
Nicholas decided to make out with the raccoon.
Was he actually making out with the raccoon?
So Nick gets kidnapped in the middle of the night. Like, the CIA guys just conk him over the head with a brick, bag over his head, drag him into the White House. He meets the president.
At the time, now, I did not think to take a picture of the actual wound, so you only have the after, the beautiful after with the stitches.